All right, shalom, 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 brothers, sisters. We're back again. Now we're on Titus 2:13, Isaiah 43 and 11. Titus 2:13, what does it say? All right, Titus 2:13 says this. Looking for that blessed hope and glorious appearance of the great Elohim and our Savior Yeshua the Messiah. Right? Isaiah 43 and 11, I think it's at the same one. Let's see. Isaiah 43 and 11 says what? 43 and 11 says, I am Yah, and besides me there is no Savior. We dealt with that in another lesson, right? That doesn't mean that there is no one else, that the Most High doesn't raise up Savior. Savior's plural. I can knock that out with one verse, right? Let's go to Obadiah real quick. Okay. Let's see. Let's do this here. Let's do two places, right? Let's go to Nehemiah, and then we're going to go to Obadiah. So Nehemiah and Obadiah. So Nehemiah 9 says, let's start at verse 26, right? Says, nevertheless, they were disobedient and rebelled against thee, and cast thy law behind their backs, and slew the prophets which testify against them to turn to thee, and they wrought great provocations. Therefore thou deliverest them into the hand of their enemies who vexed them, and in the time of their trouble, when they cried unto thee, thou heard them from heaven, and according to the manifold mercies thou gave them saviors who saved them out of the hand of their enemies. See that? So here we got saviors right here, right? How's that for Isaiah? Besides me, there is no Savior. How about this? Saviors plural, right? All right. Now, we're going to give you another one. Okay. Let's see. Let's go to Obadiah, right? Obadiah 1:21. Okay, Obadiah. It says, and saviors, there it is again, shall come, right, upon the mountain of Zion to judge the mount of Esau, and the kingdom shall be Yah's. So we see here that saviors are going to come up on the mount of Esau, right? Saviors plural. So if there is no Savior besides me, if there's only one Savior, then we have a lot of explaining to do, right? All right. Now, let's continue. Looking for that blessed hope. We read that one already, right? Isaiah 43, there is no Savior, right? So we dealt with that, right? Yah is the one. He is the Savior, but he also raised up Saviors, right? We go to the book of Judges, right? We see all through Judges, right? We did a lesson on it just recently, right? As a matter of fact, we're doing a series on salvation now, right? So there's a lot of answers, that there's a lot of questions that need to be answered if there's only one Savior. Who are these people that are called saviors, right? Is it a hypocrisy? Is it a double standard? Or is there more to the text than we see? All right. Now, moving forward, right, I want to try to wrap this up in this particular 20 minutes session here. Greek behavior is not Israelite culture. I agree with you 100%. Let's take a look at how Paul behaved himself much like the heathen. Remember Jeremiah 10, maybe Paul wasn't too familiar. Greek behavior, right? He went to the synagogue and spoke boldly for a space of about 3 months, disputing and persuading things concerning the kingdom of Elohim. But when the verse were hardened and believed not, but spoke evil of the way of Yahuwah before the multitude, he departed from them and separated the Talmudim and disputed daily in the school of Tyrannus. So he says, seems like Paul started the camps we see today yelling at people for no reason, creating splinter cells, etc. He may have been intelligent, but acted childish when people wouldn't accept his ideology. He taught lies and deception, right? Okay. I won't go that far as to demonize him. I just say that because I wasn't there, I just say he compromised a lot. So we're in agreement there, but that in no wise is no reflection on Yahshua. Okay. Acts 17, 18, therefore disputed in the synagogue. Okay, we read that already. So what did Paul expect? I think that's the end of the rope. Oh my, that's the end of. So we're gonna have to do a part 12, another series. So this is the end of the questionnaire I got with regards to that. I will close out with this here, brothers and sisters. Right, if you made it this far in this sharing, you know by now that I'm a firm believer of Yahshua, right? I believe Yahshua is the Elohim of Israel. I believe that we've never seen the Father, never heard the Father's voice, and we will see the Father one day. But that same man that led us through the wilderness and as a pillar, as a cloud by day and a pillar of fire by night is Yahshua, who is known as Yahweh, the Elohim of Israel, who was manifested through 42 generations in the physical flesh, known as Yahshua the Messiah, right? That's my take. That's my position on him. So with that said, and with that comprehension of my thought process, I say this here to you, brothers and sisters, with love and all due respect. If you at this point in junction in your life have made a decision to throw the Messiah out, stick to your decision, right? If you are on the how the saying goes, if you're on the rope, I'm not sure exactly how the saying goes, but you know what I'm trying to say. If you are on the tightrope and you trying to make a life or death decision, I say this here, right? Stick with Yahshua. Okay. If you're not convinced, don't jump out the ship because you heard some teaching from somebody who said some things that kind of made sense to you, because people can say a lot of things that make sense, right? But it don't mean it's right, right? And I got brothers and sisters that I used to battle with down through the years. They would get mad and call me names and stuff like that and call me an idolater because I believe in Yahshua. And I said, well, I've never called you any names, right? I respect the fact that you just Torah only. I've known Israelites that just believe in the first 5 books, period. They don't believe in the prophets or the Psalms. They definitely don't believe in Daniel. But at the same time, brothers and sisters, I don't have no hatred towards a person who believes different than me, who doesn't accept what I believe. Hey, I always say this, and I say it till my dying day. I could be wrong, right? If I'm wrong, don't let me waddle in my wrong, right? And another thing, I at one point in time in my life, I could be an argumentative person, right? But I'm at the point now where I'm almost 60 years old and I don't argue with people anymore. If you choose to throw the whole Bible out, I'm going to support your choice of throwing the Bible out. But just know that whatever decision that you make for your life, for your body, right? Whatever comes after that, that's the decision you made. Stick to it, right? It's better for you to be hot or cold. But when you're in the middle and you can't make up your mind which way you want to go, whether you want to serve Yah, whether you want to follow this voice that you heard here or follow this voice that you heard over there, right? Look, don't be double-minded and be wishy-washy. If you following somebody and they have proved to you, right? Here's the thing. We need to know Yah for ourselves. That's the whole thing, right? And when you know Yah for yourself, right, you know what works for you, right? You know what the Torah means to you, then nobody can turn you away, right? For me, my house, we serve Yah, right? And Yah's laws, statutes, and commandments are valid, have been valid, will be valid, will always be valid, and nobody can take that away, right? So if anybody turns you away from the Torah, right, to teach you that you don't have to follow the Most High's law, statutes, and commandments, take that person with a grain of salt, because that's a distraction. Because it was breaking of the law, statutes, and commandments that got us thrown into captivity. And to this very day, we're in the lands of our enemies, right? So I stand my ground. I believe in Yahshua, that he is the Elohim of Israel that led us through the wilderness. He is the same person that was manifested in the physical flesh, that came through 42 generations as a man to show us that he can be a man. He can be in a man's body, just like the Spirit of Yah is in us through his word. The Spirit of Yah was in Yahshua through the word. He was a man that came through the seed of a woman. Or I should say came through the seed of the man, but woman, that's another story, right? Okay. We know women don't have seed, so don't twist my words, right? But what I'm saying is the seed of a woman, the woman had come from a man, right? So basically when you say the seed of a woman, you're talking about a woman, talking about a child that came through a womb of a woman that had a husband, right? That's all I'm saying. So with that, brothers and sisters, love me, hate me, whatever the case is, right? Just stand your ground, be true to yourself. If I'm a false prophet, I'm a false teacher, shout it out on the housetop, point out my errors and doings and all of that. And in the end, if I'm wrong and you're right, it will show. If you're wrong and I'm right, it's going to show. And it's not so much about being right. It's about following what the Most High has prescribed to us to live by so we can have life now and in the kingdom. And so with that said, brothers and sisters, I'm going to close this portion of this sharing of the questions on the New Testament. So please join us on the Shabbat on our other channel. This is our answer channel, but on our other channel, Sons and Daughters of the Covenant of Yah, on the Shabbat at 9 a.m. Eastern Time, each Shabbat will be on their live stream. With that said, brothers and sisters, I say shalom, shalom, shalom.